Tara, mabilis ang basa ng ating history book, History of the Filipino People by Agoncillo and Guerrero. Today, 17 December 2022, History of the Philippine People, Part 3, Reform and Revolution, Topic number 9, Bonifacio and the Katipunan. Paragraph, the Women's Chapter of the Katipunan. Basa. The Women's Chapter of the Katipunan, Bonifacio's idea of expanding the membership of the Katipunan led him first to do away with the triangle method of recruiting new membership, and second to the formation of the Women's Chapter. Doubtless, Bonifacio knew that the strength of a society with purposes such as those of the Katipunan lay in numbers. Consequently, in the middle of 1893, soon after his second marriage, he opened the door of the society to patriotic and scrupulous women who had the virtue to keep their tongues in place. To be sure that no woman of dubious character could penetrate the deep secrets of the society, Bonifacio limited the membership to the wives, daughters, and sisters of the male members. It was their duty to take in new members, male or female, and that the meetings of the male members were not male or female, and more important from the normally ako nabasa guys ulit. It was their duty to take in new members, male or female, and more important from the point of view of security, to see to it that the meetings of the male members were not disturbed by surprise raids of the authorities. Thus, while the men were holding their meetings in the back room, the women, in order to draw away the suspicion of the authorities, danced and sang in the sala in full view of the passers-by. It was thus that the women members acted as a front for a clandestine goings-on of the Katipuneros. Prominent women of the community were initiated into the society. Their officers were Josepa Rizal, President; Gregoria Desos, Vice President; Marina Dizon, Secretary; and Angelica Rizal Lopez, Fiscal. In particular, Gregoria Desos risked her life in keeping in her person many Katipunan documents, even at the time when she was heavy with gout. The Katipunan Newspaper, another step taken by the Katipunan to propagate its teachings and to win more adherents to its side, was the establishment of a printing press. One difficulty encountered was the lack of sufficient funds with which to purchase even a small printing press adequate enough to meet the simple needs of the society. Fortunately, however, two Katipuneros from the Visayas, Candido Ivan and Francisco del Castillo, who came back from Australia in 1895, had 1,000 pesos between them for having won in the lottery. So, nung araw lang guys, may lottery na. Tayo na tayo. Mamadalo. With a magnificent gesture that bought the small printing press of Bazaar El Cisne, then located at the corner of what are now Carriedo and Rizal Avenue, its owner, Antonio Salazar, agreed to part with his press for 400 pesos. The press was transferred to Andres Bonifacio's house on what is now Oroquieta Street near Zurbaran. With a proud conscience, Iban and Del Castillo returned to Calibo, copies to spread the doctrines of the Katipunan. The printing press lacked many types, particularly the letter A, the much employed letter in Tagalog. Jacinto, who was much interested in the press, borrowed 20 pesos from his mother, and with it he bought some types from Isabelo del Reyes, a great Filipino nationalist. But even with these types, the facilities of the press were inadequate, for other types were lacking, and without them no printing job could be done. The problem was solved by 4 Katipuneros employed at the printing establishment of the popular daily Diario de Manila. They stole some types from the printing plant of this Spanish-owned periodical and gave them to Dr. Pio Valenzuela, On the latter suggestion, the printing press was moved to its place of residence at number 35 until recently number 408 La Vizares Street, San Nicolas, a place found convenient for the printing of the proposed organ of the society. To manage the press, Valenzuela asked the help of Opiano Fernandez, a printer in the printing plant of the daily El Comercio, and Faustino Duque, a student of San Juan de Litran. Valenzuela suggested the name Kalayaan for the society organ, and Jacinto and Bonifacio approved it. However, it was agreed that Jacinto be made its editor, but that the name of Marcelo Estelra be made a front. As the editor, it was also agreed that to fold the Spanish authorities as to the place of printing. Yokohama should be placed on the masthead. For weeks, day and night, Valenzuela, Duque, and Fernandez took turns of preparing the pages of the Kalayaan, which was approximately 9 by 12 inches in size. 2,000 copies of the first number, dated January 18, 1896, were printed the hard way. The paper actually came out in mid-March. The first number contains a post editorial of Del Pilar, which in fact Jacinto wrote. It greeted the people, advised them solidarity and independence, and offered him his life and all he had for the good of the Filipino people. There was an article by Jacinto Valenzuela Catoran, is it right? Catoran, is it right? Which described the cruelties of the Ulitin ko guys, there was an article by Jacinto Valenzuela's Catoran, and then open close parenthesis, is it right? Which described the cruelties of the Spanish priest and civil guards of San Francisco del Monte, now in Quezon City, on a helpless village. Lieutenant Jacinto manifesto which urged the Filipinos to revolt against the Spaniards to secure their liberty. Bonifacio poem Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Bayan, love of country, and a sprinkling of news for obvious reasons. Jacinto Valenzuela and Bonifacio wrote under their pen names. Dimas Ilaw for Jacinto, Agapito, Bagong Bayan for Bonifacio, ang Madlang Away for Valenzuela. Copies of the first number were secretly distributed in Manila, Cavite, Morong, now Rizal Province, Caloocan, Malabon, and other places. Encouraged by the success of this initial number, Jacinto began to prepare a second number which would contain nothing but his works, but time was running out on the Kalayaan when the type was already set and the paper about ready to go to bed, that is, about to be printed. The Spanish authorities, who was suspected the periodical to be in or around Manila, raided the place where the paper was being printed, which was then at number 6, until recently number 712, Clavel Street, San Nicolas. But before the authorities could lay hold of the press, Duque and Fernandez had already destroyed it. Then the two separated, never to meet again. The second number therefore did not come out. The expansion of the Katipunan. Bukas yung na tayo, yung topic number 10 na tayo bukas. So, ito yung last na paragraph. The expansion of the Katipunan. But before the authorities could lay hold of the priest, Duque and Fernandez had already destroyed. Binalikan ko lang guys. Okay, paragraph, the expansion, dito na tayo sa paragraph ng the expansion of the Katipunan. The publication and distribution of the Kalayaan with its incendiary contents immediately influenced the thinking and feeling of the masses in Central Luzon. Jacinto's and Bonifacio's writings, in particular, awakened the people from a long lethargy and immediately swelled the ranks of the Katipunan. At the end of March 1896, when the 2,000 copies of the periodical had been distributed far and wide, hundreds of people nightly joined the Katipunan in the towns of San Juan del Monte, San Felipe, Nere, Pasig, Pateros, Marikina, Caloocan, Malabon, and other places. The people became aware of their rights and duties to their country. The Katipunan also extended to the provinces of Bulacan, Batangas, Cavite, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, and Laguna. Bonifacio's single-minded devotion to the Katipunan and to all that it stood for finally yielded results from the founding of the society to January 1, 1896. It did not have more than 300 members, but since the appearance of the Kalayaan, the membership had increased to around 30,000. The Kalayaan had done its bit for the society. So malaking bagay yung newspaper talaga, guys. The people were now prepared to shoulder the risk demanded of them in the struggle for the emancipation of the native land. So bukas dito na tayo sa topic number 10, the revolution first phase. So yun, hanggang dyan na lang guys. Bye everyone. Bukas na ito at mahaba-haba na naman. Bye everyone. God bless.